Bills fans, what is up? Here we are, first day of free agency officially in the books. As we all knew, well, one of the signings yesterday, Star Lotulelei, also got word that Kyle Williams was coming back for a year. And I don't think those two bits of news coming out back to back were kind of coincidence. I think they wanted to show everybody that, look, they were serious about fortifying the middle, keeping Kyle around for another year for not only his play, but as we all know, just the presence that he is in that room and what he means to the team, to the just the essence of the Bills. Really, he has truly put himself up there with some of the all-time Bills. Given the run of futility, he's honestly, and on the news of a really great NFL player that never got a chance to win in this league, and it's unfortunate, really, in Joe Thomas. He is the Bills. He is our Joe Thomas, Kyle Williams, and we were all so glad to see him finally get into playoff games, scores his first career touchdown, and then get into a playoff game the next week. I mean, what a magical ride it was for him, and I hope he gets to continue that ride, as we all do, going into 2018 and beyond. But Star Lotulelei is going to be that. He's not going to bring those flashy, penetrating stats, but what he's going to provide is what he can do for everybody else in the front seven. And the front seven is going to be a big topic of discussion here, how he's going to keep bodies off of Kyle, keep Kyle fresh, keep bodies off of the edge guys like Hughes, like Lawson, who they're not going to just count on them for their pass rush this year, and we're going to hear about that. But whoever might be the middle linebacker, whoever, and Lorenzo Alexander, who I firmly believe they want to just have him focus on defense. It frees all those guys up to do even better things. And I don't think they could have walked away from Lorenzo for at least this upcoming year, or Kyle, just so they can, again, keep that message, that McDermott, and just make sure it continues to germinate in that room, because it is so important that they keep that eye on the ball, that, look, you come in there every day, and this is there's the goal. And anytime you just rest on your laurels, or just pat yourself on the back, or you have a good game, you get out the old Instagram and Snapchat and want to poke your chest out, but go crickets when you lose. None of that shit. Just come here, win, and all that shit's just gonna come to you. And the type of, let's say, the Bills DNA. That's the theme. That was the theme of the year, when it came to acquisition of players. Bills DNA. Trent Murphy, guy kind of hinted at just earlier. A guy that's going to be heavily rotated in. Does he take somebody's starting job? Who knows? But they're just not going to wait on Shaq to finally get it. They're not going to sit around and wait for Jerry to get any younger, and Jerry's still an explosive player. I think given if you give somebody else on the other side that they have to respect, or at least account for, and know that they could hurt you. He's very long, he's got good length, and he sets a very, very physical edge. That's one thing I think that nobody's really mentioned about him, I haven't really seen, is that he sets a real physical edge. And it's not going to be as easy just to take those wide runs outside. If you remember that Saints game, they were just gashed on the edges, gashed in every phase of the run game, honestly, but it just seems like Kamara really killed them on the edges, and then Ingram did all the blunt work in between the tackles. It was a clinic in the run game for the Saints that day, and I hate seeing the Bills get run on like that. I hate seeing them get lit up in any fashion, but just to get manhandled like that in a run game, it really bothers me. It really does, because it just, I don't know why, but yeah. That was a really big day. And then some back end signings like Raphael Bush, who's going to be that, I don't want to say he's a third safety, but he's going to be what Shamarko Thomas, even they brought back a Robert Blanton. What they would really have liked to rely on Colt Anderson to have been the past regime, now this one, but the guy is Mr. Glass. He just cannot stay healthy. His body is just has had it in the league, I think, and couldn't count on him anymore. And Raphael Bush brings a little bit more to the defense, brings just as much to the special teams, and also Julian Stanford. And I think there's another sign-in to me that signifies they want Lorenzo's legs used on defense only. They want him totally to focus on the defense. And you know what? It's the last year of his contract. He is up there in age as it is, but being the type of guy he is and the way he works and the way he does his thing day in and day out as a professional, it's unquestioned. And for him to just be able to do that, I think you see a little bit more productive player, because I'm not just saying this because I'm a Bills fan, but that guy was arguably the best defensive player, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. He was arguably the best defensive player on the field in that Jaguar playoff game, and there's a lot of good, especially for the Jaguars, there are a lot of good defensive players on that field that day, and he was top 3-5, easy, top 3 or 5. He was that good that day. Now, the more talked about signing, the thing everybody was losing their head over, are the Bills going to sign a veteran quarterback? Are they going to sign a quarterback at all? A lot of conjecture, a lot of things. If they sign a quarterback, is it going to affect them potentially moving? No. This team is going to trade up into the top 2-3 picks and draft a quarterback. Make no doubt about it. No doubt about it. They are going to make that move, irregardless of the price. That's the move that's going to be made. Haven't talked about the trade they made with Cordy. The Cordy trade officially announced today. The Tyrod Taylor trade officially announced today. So all that stuff is official, done and dusted, and the true remake of the Bills roster under McDermott is really, really underway now. He's in his second full year, fully integrated, settled in. With his front office, because you got to remember, the Bills front office this time last year was still the Doug Whaley, Jim Monis, Kelvin Fisher contingent. How little or what did they have to do with last year's free agency? Probably not much. They probably did some legwork, but from what I understand, it was mainly comprised of McDermott, Kevin Meegank, and just a handful of others. Nobody really from the old personnel staff was involved too much. And again, now with everybody fully on board, tugging the rope in the same direction, saw a pretty good. It was very streamlined last year. We saw a lot of things done in short order, and they really attacked the front seven, and that's something that was just a huge area of need. We saw this team get viciously gashed in the run game, more particularly in the later to mid part of late to mid-late part of the year. They settled it down a little bit. And they settled it down, I want to say, after it was mostly that Jets, Saints. They had that, the 5 INT game against the Chargers, so there was really no gashing going on because they basically lost the game for themselves. Haven't had that amount of interceptions. That was just a nightmare on every level. And then going into the New England game, they got hammered pretty good in the run game also, and then they really just going into the KC game, I want to say last 5-6 games, they just calmed it down. They calmed it down, and there was still some. It wasn't what any of us wanted, or I'm sure they wanted, but it got a little bit more steady, and wasn't as bad. But with more girth up front, and I have to say this, I see it every year. You get into free agency, everybody's like, who we sign, and everybody's like panicking. And then you sign somebody, it's like, it's not the soup du jour. Like Jordan Boyer last year was literally, I saw some, not so much that, but later on this evening, which I haven't even touched on, we got news, going back, we're going to sign a quarterback, and this is the sign, and everybody's kind of, either, ooh, that's pretty nice, or they were about A.J. McCarron. The Bills land A.J. McCarron on a 2-year, $10 million deal, and for me, that's my cup of tea, because for one, I think either he or Peterman can start. They can start. I think McCarron has the edge there, obviously, but you can just see with the 2 quarterbacks that they currently have on their roster, the type of quarterback they want. They want a guy firmly who wins from the pocket with accuracy, decision-making. I think that these 2 guys, they kind of mirror each other in a similar vein. They won. McCarron is as winning a quarterback in college as you get. He's a long-time backup in the league, and I'm not throwing no shade on him. Why couldn't he beat out? You know what? Andy Dalton gets no stink from me. Again, any Bills fan, no garbage talk of Andy Dalton. It's unacceptable, and I won't have it here. So, A.J. McCarron is now a Bill, and as far as I'm concerned right now, he's penciled in as a starter. Again, as of right now, there's a lot longer to go. Everybody panics the first day of free agency. Everybody starts getting all happy. Look, money in, money out. There's going to be some cuts. There's going to be some surprise cuts, maybe. Other teams are going to have some surprise cuts. We saw a lot of big names getting released today. Things are very, very fluid. There's that second wave free agency, and then there's, the little lull period before the draft. Everything kind of goes zero, kind of quiet. You people, all having a gaffe because the WGR guys are losing their heads over a Benjamin Albright tweet about Bills wanting to go up for Josh Allen. I mean, and I had to tweet this. I said, look, in the draft world, you're hearing this stuff 5 weeks, about a month and a half out from the actual event itself. It'll be antiquated by next week, and it'll be forgotten by April 26th. Chill the fuck out. Really. Seriously. I'm focused on what they're doing right now. Am I excited about the prospects of what they're going to do that night? Fucking ain't right I am. As all of us should be. All of us should be. Because the arrow is pointing in one direction. For them to make the move that we've also desperately wanted them to make for so long, irregardless of what kind of draft capital they have or didn't have. But in this particular, they have a glut of it. And the price to me is not too high, because that's the price you pay. Like I've stated in prior videos, if there's ever this mysterious, mystical quarterback, this can't miss prospect that ever shows up 1 year from wherever, who knows, he shows up next year, he shows up 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, whoever, and the Bills aren't the team that's bad enough to be in the spot to take him on the date of the draft, and guess what? The team that is not trading the damn rights to draft the guy to the Bills. So get your head around it. And then if you sit around and wait for that day, years and decades go by. But anyway, enough of that. We're talking about free agency right now. But it definitely does point two things during the draft. I mean, there's a long way to go, The Vontae Davis signing, the Chris Ivory signing, who's a real, physical back that complements Shady well. But again, it's so early. It'll be all time. This team, as it's currently comprised right now, isn't going to be. I mean, it's an okay amount of them are, but there's still an okay amount of the 46 that we're going to see run out of that tunnel for the Bills opener that aren't even here yet. And that's exciting to me. That's very exciting because some guys are going to pop. A lot to talk about. I don't want to talk about it all in one shot. I gotta learn how to do that. I gotta learn how to save some stuff for later on, But it was an exciting day. I really like the way they attacked the process of free agency. They just got a good. They a really neat area, the defensive line. They tightened it up. They tightened it up today. I want to say they tightened it up. Murphy did play like outside linebacker, edge guy type of role with the Bills. Remember what they were trying to get Mario Williams to do under the Rex scheme that he was. So that's kind of what Trent Murphy was doing for the Redskins, because they play a 3-4 hybrid type of defense. And here he's a true hand in the dirt defensive end. And that's basically what he's built for. That's the kind of body type he has, and I'd like to see his skill set used in that vein, and I think it will be. But again, having a deep defensive line, adding the guy that was a third-round pick for the Giants, whose name is really going to be a tongue twister, but I'm sure we're all going to learn it. Maybe he sticks, maybe he doesn't. But again, he's a one-year guy, and who knows? But they seem to be focused on being able to, get a better, more effective, steady pass rush on a down in and down out basis. And from what things I heard, we all heard that they just were not happy with the way guys had a free and easy ride in the pocket, just being able to step up, step into throws. They want that push coming in the middle. So we'll see how this all manifests. But it's an exciting time. We're seeing this roster get done over very, very nicely with their type of guys. Some guys that a lot of guys got released today. Some things happened as it relates maybe to the Bills' prospects of getting a quarterback. Maybe some teams, some prospective teams that might be in the market that might not be now. Maybe the Dolphins. They were said to be a team that possibly want to trade up. They did something with Ryan Tannehill's contract where they backloaded some money to a signing bonus or pushed it up, and it's going to make him much, much harder, much more damaging to move on from next year. So, and they did, pretty much the same thing with Ndamukong Suh today, and that's going to hurt them down the road, fiscally, as well as restructuring. They will restructure Tannehill, and then they restructured Rashad Jones. They pushed more money, down the road. So, this Mike Tannenbaum right there. Remember that nice work he did with the Jets on their whole salary cap, and oof, that was a tough one. So hope it works out for him. That's tough, but that's their problem. But everybody's encouraged free agency wise. Everybody, every fan base has that right. It's a time where it's hope's anew, and then we get that next wave of hope. Each time our team signs a player, we get a little taste of it. That whether we like it or we don't, we always have to just allow ourselves to at least just. The guy might be good. He might be good. He might help this team in some way, shape, or form. So, and again, I'm a big believer you have 3 quarterbacks on your roster. I'm a big believer that you can never not allocate enough resources to the quarterback position. But the way this market was going and the way the Bills want to fiscally run this team, and the way that I feel like they want to go and get comp picks down the road, I don't think they felt it was prudent to go lifting their leg and throwing out, that $20 million that Sam Bradford. That's ridiculous. I mean, for a guy that's has been diagnosed with a degenerative knee, you're drafting a rookie quarterback. I in their perfect world, this young quarterback takes a seat and relaxes. Not so much relaxes, but just give him a chance to breathe, absorb everything, take it all in, and just instead of just having the whole weight of the building, which it already, let's be honest, the whole weight of the fan base, it's already going to be on him. But just alleviate that some. If AJ or Peterman comes out and plays well, gives the whole situation just a little pause, a little bit more calmness, because the second one of those guys plays bad, it's going to be the calls for the young guy. That's the way it is. And strong organizations that are strong and don't have rabbit ears won't bend or kowtow to media or the fan base. The Patriots don't do it. The Chiefs under Andy Reid don't do it. The Packers don't do it. The good organizations, and I know those organizations all have good quarterbacks, and all the Steelers don't do it, but they just don't do it. They're very steadfast. They're very stubborn, but they're all winners. They're all winners. Some they have their rough seasons up, sometimes here and there, but they still, as a general rule, they're all winners. And that's why, because they don't listen to the bullshit. What's saying? You listen to the fans, you sit with the fans, or same thing with the media. If you listen to the media, you're going to be a member of the media. in the NFL, that's the way it goes. But all right, Bills fans, let me hear what you guys think about today's free agency kickoff. Knew about the star signing. Kyle coming back was big. That's just as big as any free agent signing to me. Get him back in the fold. Julian Stanford, Raphael Bush, tightening up. Because coaches, and I'll always say this about Belichick, he is a special teams stickler. Ridiculous. You hear that guy on Friday talk about special teams, it's ridiculous. His Friday press conferences are always the best. But even, McDermott, it is a quick way to lose games. And I'll always think about that game where John Kondo, who's the Raiders' long snapper, it was a Sunday night game or a Monday night game. I can't remember which, but he got injured. And the Raiders just could not snap the ball on a punt, a field goal attempt. I don't even know if they got a touchdown to kick an extra point, but it was bad. It was really bad, and it was just like, wow. You realize what an impact special teams has for you when little things like that just aren't firing. I mean, Bills had their instances with guys fumbling key, and when they weren't able to really get their guys. I remember in 2013, Marone's first year, he had a rough go of it. Everybody was calling for Crossman's head, and they were able to tighten it up in 2014 because they got guys that they wanted. But yeah. Anyway, on to bigger and better things, on to 2018. Here we are, and this team is far from done. The construction is underway for the 2018 Bills, and I can't wait to see the finished product. And this is just not even the first step. It's just like the mid-tier. It's like we're at the infantile stages of it. That's what's so exciting about it. And the team is already looking better on paper. It really is looking better on paper. Not much discernible difference already to me, and a lot more time to hopefully get it in a much better place. I'm sorry, I'm just out of it. I'm smiling. It was a long day. It's Thursday, soon to be. You guys have a great rest of the week. It's almost weekend time. You guys enjoy. Let me know what you think. Let me know if the sound is still going good. Really apologize for if you saw prior videos and the sound was messed up. I was trying my best. I finally tinkered with some settings that seemed like they worked, and it was just a hope and a prayer when I put the like third to last video out that the sound would be fixed, and it was. And I was just like, I don't know, I just like threw my head down on the desk. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was really seriously, I was trying to get that fixed. I really was, guys, but I'm glad it seems to be rectified now. All right, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want, and take care, guys. I'll try to get back to all your comments and stuff. So, again, very much appreciated. Go Bills.